All right, so we are on data distribution target 8A, day 2. Let's go over some learning goals for this. We are going to compare and contrast the central tendency for two sets of frequency tables and determine whether mean or median is the best way to determine central tendency, and then also use Bosk and Whisker plots to determine and explain information while using academic language. All right, let's start with some vocabulary. Some of it's going to be a little bit of a refresher. Median, again, is the middle value in a data set. Your interquartile range is the middle 2 quartiles or the middle 50% of a data set. Mean, so this is new, is the average value of a data set. And you find the mean by adding all the values in a data set and dividing by the number of values. And then central tendency, this is another new one. So this can be used to identify information of a data set. You find it either using the mean or the median, depending on whichever situation is best. Median should be used when there are outliers, which are, like if you had a bunch of numbers, and let's say it was like, 20, 21, 24, 27, and then you had a 50, okay? In that case, median would be the best number to use, not the mean. But if all your numbers were pretty close together, what we call symmetrical, then mean is the best thing to use. All right, so let's go ahead and start with what a frequency table looks like. Let's say I had a list of numbers, and they're already in a nice order for me, from lowest to greatest. And notice that numbers repeat. So when we're dealing with this, unlike in the past, we include every number that appears. And what you do is you make a table, and notice I just put an X. So like I had 4 10s, so there were 4 X's above 10. I had 2 20s, so there were 2 X's above 20. So I put an X above each time that number appears. Okay? So let's take a look at the first example. We've got 2 data sets below, and we want to calculate the measure of central tendency for both data sets to figure out which one is more profitable. So we want to look at this, and now just by looking at it, hopefully we can get you used to deciding which should be better, median or mean, for this one, in order to figure out central tendency, so that you don't have to do both, but I'm going to walk you through both just so that you can see that they're pretty close together here. So if we look at the median, okay, for company A, we take all of our numbers and we put, so there was 150, there were 251s, 352s, 353s, 254s, whatnot, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which means that the 6th and the 7th, because now when you have an even number, you're going to have 2 numbers that are in the middle. In this case, 52 and 53. Okay, so that would be your median. Now you can't have 2 numbers as median, so what we do is we take those 2 and add them together and divide by 2, which gives us our actual median of 52.5. If we look at company B, same thing. Now we have the same number in the middle, so yeah, technically this is what you do, but your median is just the numbers. Okay, so you can use median, but with this, the data is pretty symmetrical, so we wouldn't necessarily go with median, we would just go with mean, which we would, in order to find central tendency. So we would add up all these values, 50, 51, 52, we'd add all of these numbers and divide by however many there were, which in this case was 12. So when you add all these numbers together, they get 630 divided by 12 is 52.5. Oddly enough, same thing is down here. Company B, you add all the numbers together, you get 623, which when you divide by 12 is about 51.92, which is pretty darn close to this. So what we can conclude from that is that company A is slightly more profitable. Okay, you can use one or the other. In this particular case, like I said, I would use mean, which is this right here. Okay, and this is your answer. This is what we're looking for. Okay, and next and final example, using the Bosk and Whiskers plot below, what do the interquartile ranges tell you about the fuel efficiency of each type of vehicle? So using median and interquartile range, which type of vehicle has a higher fuel efficiency? So this is where knowing your vocabulary and what things are important, because here they're asking you to use median and interquartile range. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at cars first. we're going to look at the median and the spread of the interquartile range. So the median is right at 20, okay, right there. And your spread of your interquartile range, your maximum of that is 22, and your minimum is 18. So your spread will be 22 minus 18, which equals 4. And that's the maximum and minimum of the interquartile range, not of all the data. So that's from your Q1 to your Q3, right? Q1, Q3. All right, then we're going to do the same thing for trucks. Trucks, we have a median of 15. So if you look here, that's right at 15. And then the spread of the interquartile range, which is 16 and 14. So that equals 2. So what we're able to conclude then is, on average, cars get better fuel efficiency. So again, not a whole lot of difficult calculations, just more interpreting the data as you see it in the graph and knowing what the vocabulary is. So as always, if you have any questions, please come to me. Thank you. That is it.